Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our series of reading the original texts. And we are doing We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Adichi. And this would probably be the last part because we'll finish today. Let's continue. So we have reached here, and we were talking about how, when the man of the house does something, let's say that he changes the baby's nappy, she says thank you to him because he helped her apparently, but that's not called help because it is not her work alone, right? It is a partnership in which they have both decided to have a baby, and it is both their jobs to take care of the baby. So what if she saw it as something normal and natural that he should help care for his child? I am trying to unlearn many lessons of gender I internalized while growing up. तो रिची कह रही हैं बहुत सारे ऐसे लेसन्स होते हैं जब हम लोग बचपन से बड़े होते होते सीख लेते हैं. I'll give you an example. So yesterday, uh, we go to the ground every day for some physical activity. So yesterday, what happened? There were a few children. Um, I don't know, around maybe 12 years old, 10 to 12 to 15 years old. And so me and one of my friends, we were already playing there. We try to do that. So they came and they wanted to play cricket. So they wanted the space for it. So we decided that, okay, let's play together. And yeah, we were playing with these children. Now it's playing cricket is, some people like it, some people don't like it. But what happened is, these little children, I got the ball and I had to bowl. And now this boy was telling the batsman, अब तो सिक्स बॉल्स पे सिक्स छक्के पड़ने चाहिए, because it's a woman who is bowling. Look at the mentality of a young boy. उसको वही सिखाया गया है. वहाँ पे कोई लड़की हमें खेलती हुई नज़र भी नहीं आती उनके साथ, कभी भी. या आपस में कोई लड़की खेल रही हो. We never see them there. यही एक मेंटालिटी है जो बच्चे देख रहे हैं, जो बच्चे सीख रहे हैं. उनको कोई सिखा नहीं रहा है, लेकिन जब दे आर रीडिंग द रूम ना, दे आर रीडिंग कि हम लोग आके खेलते हैं, वी आर द स्ट्रॉन्ग वंस, वी विल रन एंड वी विल डू ऑल ऑफ द फिजिकल एक्टिविटी, नॉट अ गर्ल. But I sometimes still feel vulnerable in the face of gender expectations. The first time I taught a writing class in school, I was worried. Not about the teaching material, because I was well prepared and I was teaching what I enjoyed. Instead, I was worried about what to wear. I wanted to be taken seriously. पहली बार जब आप कहीं पढ़ाई पढ़ाने जाओ, आप सबका कोई ना कोई एक्सपीरियंस होगा. अगर आपने कोई एक्सपीरियंस लिया है कहीं पे भी एज जॉब, तो आप फर्स्ट डे ज़रूर सोचते हो कि मैं क्या पहन के जाऊँ, राइट? इट हैपेंड विद मी एज़ वेल. द फर्स्ट डे, वो भी यूनिवर्सिटी में, एक बड़ी यूनिवर्सिटी में मैं पढ़ाने जा रही हूँ. मेरा पहला दिन है. आई एम अ यंग गर्ल एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, एंड आई ऑल्सो वांट students to take me seriously because I'm teaching a big class. I'm teaching um, these students, these university students, and I just look like them. So, ऐसा नहीं हो कि वो सोचें कि हमारी ही कोई क्लासमेट आ गई है पढ़ाने. I of course wanted to be taken seriously, so I had to think, okay, do I wanted to I wanted to dress maturely for my age. So I knew that was because I was female, I would automatically have to prove my worth. And I was worried that if I looked too feminine, I would not be taken seriously. I really wanted to wear my shiny lip gloss and my girly skirt, but I decided not to. I wore a very serious, very manly, and very ugly suit. That's what I did. I would not say manly, of course, but that's what I did. I did not go in my regular jeans, but I chose to wear a suit, which I couldn't handle. दुपट्टा गिर रहा है, मैं पढ़ाऊँ या अपना दुपट्टे पे ध्यान रखूँ कि मैं अपने बालों पे ध्यान रखूँ? The sad truth of the, and it's not just the offline thing, just to be clear, honestly, of course वहां जाना है आपने, आपके सामने बच्चे हैं, आपने उनको भी देखना है, आपका पूरा अपीयरेंस दिख रहा है, but online appearance is also something that really matters. Somebody actually told me कि what is the reason कि आपके इन वीडियो पे व्यूज नहीं आ रहे हैं? यू टीचिंग ओके, यू टीचिंग फाइन, नथिंग रॉन्ग विद व्हाट यू आर टीचिंग. एंड ही स्टार्टेड कंपेयरिंग माय क्लास टू अनदर पर्सन्स क्लास. उस पे इतने ज्यादा व्यूज हैं, इस पे व्यूज क्यों नहीं आ रहे? एंड देन ही सेड देयर इज वन डिफरेंस दैट आई सी, एंड इट इज दैट यू आर नॉट वेयरिंग एनी मेकअप, एंड दैट गर्ल, that woman in that video is wearing uh, beautiful makeup, and she's looking very beautiful while she's teaching. So I did not say anything. मैं अपने आप में सोचने लगी कि क्या ये सच में ये एक रीजन हो सकता है कि यहाँ जो मैं कर रही हूँ, मैं बहुत मेहनत कर रही हूँ, मैं पढ़ा रही हूँ, लेकिन आ नहीं रहे बच्चे, पढ़ना नहीं चाहते शायद, क्योंकि मैं कोशिश करती हूँ कि कुछ नया पढ़ाऊँ, कुछ अच्छा पढ़ाऊँ, कुछ टेक्स्ट्स पढ़ाऊँ, पर आ नहीं रहे हैं। क्या देखना चाहते हैं? क्या पढ़ना चाहते हैं? I have not yet decoded, but yeah. The sad truth of the matter is that when it comes to appearance, we start off with men as the standard. And that's exactly what that boy said. That man said to me that because लड़के जब आपकी वीडियो देखने आ रहे हैं तो वो आपको भी देखने आ रहे हैं. Male gaze. Then I told him कि मेरा maximum audience girls हैं. तो कह रहे गर्ल्स भी देखने आ रही हैं. Many of us think that the less feminine a woman appears, the more likely she's to be taken seriously. I don't know about this. I mean, I can't relate to that. Maybe yes. A man going to a business meet, of course, अगर आप वो business वाले उसमें देखो तो हाँ, you dress like a man, you dress nicely with a coat and a nice suit, ना. नॉट द हमारे वाला इंडियन वाला सूट की बात नहीं मैं कर रही, पहले कर रही थी, अभी दूसरा वाला सूट. Doesn't wonder about being taken seriously based on what he's wearing, but a woman does. I wish I had not worn that ugly suit that day. Had I then the confidence I have now to be myself, my students would have benefited even more from my teaching, because I would have been more comfortable and more fully and truly myself. I have chosen to no longer be apologetic to my for my femininity, and I want to be respected in all my femaleness because I deserve to be. I like politics and history, and I'm happiest when having a good argument about ideas. I am girly. I'm happily girly. I like high heels and trying on lipsticks. It's nice to be complimented by both men and women, although I have to be honest and say that I prefer the compliments of stylish women. But I often wear clothes that men don't like or don't understand. I wear them because I like them and because I feel good in them. My, around us, I think around all of us, you must have been told by your mom else, dress up like this. ये अच्छा है, ये ज़्यादा अच्छा है, ऐसे अच्छा है. I've been told many times, uh, why this, like my mom tells me, uh, you're a young woman, you should wear this. I can't wear this, but you can wear this. जो उनको पसंद है पहनना वो नहीं पहन सकती हैं. मैं उनको कहती हूँ आप पहनो ना, आपको जो पसंद है. एंड नाउ शी इज ट्रांजिशनड हरसेल्फ. बट मुझे तो कहीं ना कहीं लगता था हमेशा कि वो मुझ पे वो डाल रही हैं कि मैंने नहीं किया, तू ऐसा बन, तू ऐसी ड्रेसअप हो. अभी भी मुझे कहती है डोंट वेयर दिस, ये बहुत ऐसे ओल्डरली वुमन टाइप लग रहा है, ये पहन, ये पहन. I say I'm comfortable wearing a loose t-shirt and a pajama. What can I do? Because I feel good in them. The male gaze as a shaper of my life's choices is largely incidental. Gender is not an easy conversation to have. It makes people uncomfortable. Yes, it does. And I've been thinking of, going today and talking to those boys and asking them not to repeat what they said yesterday, because it can make people uncomfortable, sometimes even irritable. Both men and women are resistant to talk about gender, or are actually Yes, they are resistant to when it comes to equality, but it's very easily, it's very easy for them to pass on comments. A girl would never do that. Imagine girls playing any game, and imagine a boy walks up to them and says, let me also play. She'd be happy to say, yes, come on, let's play. She'd never pass a bad comment ki, you're too manly to play this, blah blah blah. Because thinking of changing the status quo is always uncomfortable. Some people ask, why the word feminist? Why not just say you are a believer in human rights or something like this? Because that would be dishonest. Feminism is, of course, part of human rights in general, but to choose to use the vague expression human rights is to deny the specific and particular problem of gender. It would be a way of pretending that it was not women who have for centuries been excluded. It would be a way of denying that the problem of gender targets women, that the problem was not about being human, but specifically about being a female human. For centuries, the world divided human beings into two groups and then proceeded to exclude and oppress one group. It is only fair that the solution to the problem should acknowledge that. Some men feel threatened by the idea of feminism. This comes, I think, from the insecurity triggered by how boys are brought up. As I said, they do feel, उनको डर लगता है फेमिनिज्म के आइडिया से, बिकॉज पावर स्ट्रगल तो है ही है हर जगह. और ये जो इनसिक्योरिटी है ना, इवन दोज बॉयज इफ दे आर पासिंग ऑन सच कमेंट्स, इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम अ प्लेस ऑफ इनसिक्योरिटी, ट्रस्ट मी. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर एक उसको लड़की, वो भी एक उनसे बड़ी लड़की उनको बोल कर आ रही है, बोलिंग कर रही है, तो और अगर वो आउट हो जाता, तो उसकी तो उस पूरे फ्रेंड्स ग्रुप में उसकी बेइज्जती वो करते, कि हर और सब जगह बताते कि देखो एक आंटी आई थी खेलने और उन आंटी ने इसको आउट कर दिया. इट कम्स फ्रॉम द प्लेस ऑफ इनसिक्योरिटी, बिकॉज दैट इज हाउ दे आर ब्रॉट अप कि लड़की से नहीं हार सकते. How their sense of self worth is diminished if they are not naturally in charge as men and they want to feel in charge. Other men might respond by saying, okay, this is interesting, but I don't think like that. And I don't even think about gender. Maybe not. And that is part of the problem, that many men do not actively think about gender or notice gender. That many men say, like my friend Louise did, that things might have been bad in the past, but everything is fine now. अभी मुझे भी यही कहेंगे ना सब लोग कि ठीक है यार, उस टाइम पे होता था, तुम अकेले रह रही हो, अच्छा, सब कुछ अच्छा है, बढ़िया है. But you wouldn't understand when you hear such comments being passed on to you. I felt so sad after hearing that comment that my mood was off throughout the evening. And I kept thinking to myself कि मेरा मूड किस वजह से एग्जैक्टली खराब है. कि I really love playing, you know. I have this habit since I was a little girl. मुझे अच्छा लगता था हमेशा खेलना, बाहर जाना, खेलना ज़्यादातर. और अब because life happens and it's been years and years that I've done something like that. But hearing something like that really puts you off, and they don't understand that because they have been groomed to speak like that. जैसे लुईस ने कहा कि पहले खराबी थी, अब तो ठीक है सब कुछ. नहीं, अभी भी आप कहीं ना कहीं से ऐसा कुछ सुन लेते हो. And that many men do nothing to change it. If you are a man and you walk into a restaurant, the waiter greets just you, does it occur to you to ask the waiter, why have you not greeted me? Men need to speak out in all of these ostensibly small situations. Because gender can be uncomfortable, there are easy ways to close this conversation. Some people will bring up evolutionary biology and apes, how female apes bow to male apes, that sort of thing. But the point is this: apes. Apes also live in trees and eat earthworms. Do you do that? We do not. Some people will say, well, poor men also have a hard time, and they do. But that is not what this conversation is about. Gender and class are different. Poor men still have the privileges of being men, even if they do not have the privilege of being wealthy. I learned a lot about systems of oppression and how they can be blind to one another by talking to black men. I was once talking about gender, and a man said to me, why does it have to be you as a woman? Why not you as a human being? This type of question is way of silencing a person's specific experiences. Human beings generalize कर रहे हो आप. यहाँ पे हम specific gender की बात कर रहे हैं. So why not feminism? Yes, feminism, feminist. Of course, I am a human being, but there are particular things about things that happen to me in the world because I am a woman. This will not happen to a man. And I again say this with experience because there was a man in the field, in the same field yesterday, older than I am. And when he came, all the boys were like, yeah, yeah, uncle, come on, aise karo, waise karo. The same man, by the way, would often talk about his experience as a black man, to which I should presumably have responded, why not your experiences as a man or as a human being? Why a black man? So, no, this conversation is about gender. People will say, oh, but women have the real power, bottom power. This is a Nigerian for a woman who uses her sexuality to get things from men. But bottom power is not power at all because the woman with bottom power is actually not powerful. She just has a good route to tap another person's power. And then what happens if the man is in a bad mood or sick or temporarily impotent? Some people will say a woman is subordinate to men because it's our culture. But culture is constantly changing, it is evolving. आपके पेरेंट्स का ज़माना आज नहीं है और ना कल आपके बच्चों के टाइम पे आपका ज़माना होगा. It's changing. I have beautiful twin nieces who are 15. If they had been born 100 years ago, they would have been taken away and killed. Well, even today, in some parts of our culture, the girls are killed. Or, and honestly, it's better to be treated and be humiliated into such a life where they are not respected and then sold somewhere, uh, to a household where she has to be a servant at someone else's house. It's better. They do not deserve a girl in their house. Because 100 years ago, Igbo culture considered the birth of twins to be an evil omen. Now, this is about twins. Today, that practice is unimaginable to all Igbo people. So, what is the point of culture? Culture functions ultimately to ensure the preservation and continuity of a people. In my family, I am the child who is most interested in the story of who we are in ancestral lands in our tradition. My brothers are not as interested as I am, but I cannot participate because Igbo culture privileges men. And only the male members of the extended family can attend the meetings where major family decisions are taken. So although I am the one who is most interested in these things, I cannot attend the meeting. I cannot have a formal say because I'm a female. Culture does not make people, people make culture. If it is true that the full humanity of women is not our culture, then we can and must make it our culture. As I always say, there are places where they've written women not allowed beyond this point. Why? Who made these rules? मंदिरों में आपको अलाउड नहीं करते हैं. बहुत सारे ऐसे पॉइंट्स हैं जहाँ पे उसके बियॉन्ड आपको अलाउ नहीं करेंगे. इट्स रियली सैड. I think very often of my friend Okoloma, the first name. May he and others who passed away in that Sosoliso crash continue to rest in peace. He will always be remembered by those of us who loved him. And he was right that day, many years ago, when he called me a feminist. I am a feminist. And when those years ago, I looked the world up in the dictionary, it said feminist, a person who believes in the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes. My great grandmother, from stories I've heard, was a feminist. She ran away from the house of the man she did not want to marry and married the man of her choice. She refused, protested, spoke up whenever she felt she was being deprived of land and access because she was female. She did not know the word feminist, but it doesn't mean she wasn't one. Most of us should reclaim that word. The best feminist I know is my brother, Keen, who is also a kind, good looking, and very masculine young man. My own definition of a feminist is a man or a woman who says, yes, there's a problem with gender as it is today, and we must fix it. We must do better. All of us, women and men, must do better. So, the point of reading this entire text is to reach out to each one of you who is here listening to me, reading this with me, to be a better person in life, to avoid any kind of comments which are gender specific, which can hurt the other people, right? Because nobody is less. Nobody is less. If you are good at something, the other person might be better at something else. So be nice, be kind, and keep reading. Because reading gives you peace. It gives you peace of mind. It gives peace to your body, and you can help soothe yourselves by reading all of these texts, and you can relate to these texts, right? Thank you. If you enjoyed it, please recommend my channel to other people so that I can get views without wearing makeup. Thank you.